Well, welcome back to Factorio MSX Gigabase. Guys, it is time. It is time to start our proper pursuit of the Marathon SpaceX Extreme. Let's just have a look at production. We're doing 6,000 at the moment. Over the last hour, you'll see that we've actually averaged about 6.1 thousand. This is for a number of reasons. Partly because this is 30-second science, so it will use everything we can throw at it. And if we had something spare, it would use it. Now, we were having trouble with purple, and I narrowed that down and have resolved this, so you don't have to worry about it. I narrowed it down to the delivery of furnaces, first of all, was an issue, and you can see there's only 1,500 here, so it's not like I've resolved it to such a point that they're overflowing, but there should be, actually there's none, so well, with a bit of luck, it's close to delivering furnaces. What have we got? 14,000, so it should be done very shortly. But furnaces was a problem, so first of all I bumped up the number of steel that gets delivered. Then I added in 2 extra assembly machines to bump the creation above the minimum required to get our 6,000. And then I found the stone bricks simply was not able to do its round trip fast enough, and that in itself was an issue. So we then went over here and I ripped out all of the robo ports that were along here so that I could increase the stone bricks to 6 loaders per machine. Then I found that the stone itself was unable to keep up, so yeah, that's now, while it's 6 unloaders. At this point I think all of these machines now run basically continuously, and we're still sort of borderline, but we're basically there in terms of getting deliveries in time to keep our purple science going at just over 6,000 a minute. I also found over here, I've fixed it now, but these machines were only delivering to one passive provider. Now, one of these machines, if you look at it, its crafting speed is 8 times, productivity is 40%. Okay, so what is it natively? Natively, it's 2 copper cable every half second, or 4 per second. So 4 per second is times 8, 32 per second, and then times 1.4. Which ends up at 44.8, I think. 32 times 1.4, yeah, 44.8. So one of these can do, I think it's about 27. It gets not quite 2.5 swings in, like 2 1/4 swings. So it's about 27 per second. So it cannot actually unload one of these as quickly as these can produce. So there's that. Now these guys use 30. Well, it doesn't actually matter what these guys use. This is the sole thing that was an issue. So we needed to unload faster. So I put that in. Then I found that I had an issue with the trains here that was deadlocking them, so I fixed up that, and I found that there are 1 or 2 teething issues here which I've also fixed up. Now that they're all fixed up, that's when we've achieved our continuous 6,000 a minute science. Alright. I think that's pretty much all I've done. So there are things that are still... there was some minor issue over here. There was a little hole that biters had made that I filled, and I did some enhancement down here so it cues slightly better, but nothing major. I haven't done any of the clear up in this area. I haven't changed this one. Maybe I do need to, but we've taken enough time, so we are going to move on. We are going to double science. That's what we're going to do. So, how do we double science? First of all, do we have any labs? No, we do not. If we have a look in the map view, this is our science stack. You can see that there's actually a path leading up from both sides to the potential to have another set of stacks here. So what we're going to do is basically copy this thing and paste it up here so that science is doubled. It's probably going to have a bad impact on UPS, but it's what we need to do. Good, I have a blueprint. I should be able to do this in map mode at the right zoom. So if we start about here, come over to about there, that is our current stack. 256 labs. Actually, let's keep station names. I don't think there are any tiles, but let's tick that as well. Let's put this here in pride of position. So, first up, we need to order a bunch of stuff via our supply train. Okay, we do actually have some stuff. What I might do is just chain another constant combinator. I think... I'm not even sure if that one's connected anymore. I think it needs a green to this one and a red to this one. I'll turn it off for the moment. Right, we need 3200. Well, it might be safer to order 3300, so I guess we'll do that. Speed module 3s, 1700 beacons. What else? A bunch of tracks, so it's probably worth ordering. We'll just order 1,000 because we do have some in our engineering train. What else? 500. We'll order 520 just in case we get under-delivered. With the prod modules, 500 of the inserters, since that's an even stack size, the stack inserters. I guess we probably have some. Well, we actually have tons anyway, so I don't need to order. I don't need to order the either box actually. We do need our 256 labs though. Do I have any labs? I've got 74, so maybe I'll just order 200. Let's get some substations. I might even order 150 because I'm always kind of running out of them. 100. Do I have any roboports here? Yeah, I do have some, but I'll order 100 anyway. What else do we need? Oh yeah, signals. I probably don't really need to get the other signals. We need some lights. We have lights. I might just get 50 of the big poles just to make sure that we have enough. I think I've got plenty of the small poles. I probably have the stations, but just in case. And let's turn that on. Make sure the order's gone out. It has. And we will leave the whole thing to it while we run over here on our little path. Because that's not all we have to do. There's no point just doubling the number. Well, doubling, that would enable us to do 6,000 SpaceX science, because it's 2-minute science largely. If you have a quick look at anything like this one, 2-minute science. But we need to double up red and green to maintain that. The other thing is worker robot cargo size. It's now starting to get up to big numbers. I'll have a look at what size 13 is, but probably, and with a bit of luck, we'll actually be ready to do SpaceX science when this one has finished. So, I mean, it's only that to go, but it is 1.5 million, so that could take a while. So, yeah, we... Stone bricks. We need to double up red and green as well. Let us first of all clear out trees here. We definitely don't want trees getting in the way. And even just having these passively sit here will probably cost us some amount of UPS. Oh, no, I've only got stations. But that's something, I suppose. So what I'm going to do is I will change the symbol on that to a lab, so at least I know what it is. Lab. And then I will copy the green blueprint and the red blueprint separately, and we'll see about getting the resources for them as well. Probably need to go to map mode for this. Maybe get a new blueprint. I think that's basically what we want. That is green science. And if we come up here, we can get the red science. Actually, if I position myself about there, I can probably just do it without going to map mode. Actually, I might even copy that side. Maybe I should copy both sides. Something like that. We won't need this extended bit. Yeah. Change that to a red science. You can go in there. I won't need chem labs for a while, hopefully. So, let us also order these guys. I probably should have used the path that I made, but never mind. Oh, it's way down here. It's kind of out of the way. So, I think I'm going to need to double up the red and green trains. But the other stuff ought to be able to manage without additional trains, because each load will last twice as long, basically. That's certainly my theory. We have got a bunch of stuff that still needs coming in. Yeah, get rid of that, thanks. How are we going? Ooh. According to that, most of the stuff has actually already been delivered. Let me just check how our Make Everything is going. 7 point. I'm particularly looking at the number of speed modules left in the main base. I kind of probably don't necessarily want to kick off speed module production. We do have a bunch here ready to go, but it's more if they start producing a bunch over here that it's going to be an issue. That probably doesn't need to be there. That one inserter. In fact, do you have any construction bots? You do. Do you have any general storage? Maybe. Alright, let's just see then if they can deal with this. Oh, there we go. Yes, very good. Okay. Sorry for that detour. Right. Back into it. So does that mean we've got a bunch of labs here? No, not yet. Oh, is the train on the way? Maybe there's so much stuff here that it wasn't able to unload. No. That's not it. Outpost supply. It should be going to outpost supply. Unless it's delivered it to the wrong spot. I have broken like the connections here, and I had to re-establish them, and that may have had we may have had other places open, like down here possibly. Yes, there is a open here. That's not good. We need to turn this off. Maybe there's somewhere else where I've actually got the outpost supply open. So I've broken my supply system. Very bad timing to do that, because I've probably sent a bunch of resources somewhere that I really did not want to send them. Right, I'll tell you what we will do. We will turn this off now. Let me see if I can find the supply train. It looked like it was along here somewhere. There. What's on it? Nothing. So, where else may I have had a supply open? Not there. Well, this one's still open. It doesn't look like it was delivered a bunch of stuff. What about down here? That's open as well. It doesn't have anything either. Oh yes, it does. Alright guys, I'm going to take a quick break while I run off to this place and this one. and I disable their open requests, because that's ruining the show, and it's kind of a waste of time, because all I need to do is turn off their whatever they're requesting. I just turn that off, and they'll go back to sleep. But it is a little bit of a waste of time when we've got better things to do. So I will rejoin you shortly. And back, and this is the supply train here. So I have been to there are labs on it. Good. I whizzed over to here, and as you can see, they're now off, and that seems to have fixed our issue simply just by turning off their what's it called, the constant combinator that was ordering their stuff. So it's now headed, and I'm pretty sure the only destination it logically has is this one, so we should see it soon. That one's off. That's off, so yeah, coming down. But what we need to do in the meantime is probably also order the red and green. So I guess what I'll do is I'll just use yet another constant combinator. Let's turn it off. We can just connect it to its buddy next door. And in this one we are going to need a further 700, like 1600, maybe even 1700 speed modules. Speed 3s. We are going to need about 800 more beacons. Another 300 rail. Yes, I guess we may as well get a bit more rail. 100 and... oh, I didn't count the other set of rail. Doesn't matter. 250 plus 190. They'll call it 450 prod modules. 132. That's 300. Whoops, 300 stack inserters. We can probably make do with the red and blue that we already have here. And here you go, finally delivered to the right spot. 50 assembly machines in 71. I might just get 150 of them, because they stack in 50s. It's probably the best thing to do. Blue inserters. Do we have any blue inserters here? Not that I can see. So we better make sure we get enough. I'll get 150 of the blue inserters. We better get another. Well, I know I over-ordered on the other one. I'll just get 70, say, substations. 26 and 33, and I think I over-ordered on these, so let's get another 50. Signals. We're starting to get down in numbers to a point where we can probably just ignore it. Let's turn that on. There you go, that's added a bunch of stuff. What I'm going to do now is drop off all the things that we don't specially need. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put those guys there. I actually could do with more construction bots. I do have some on board. Let's top up my supply of construction bots. 100 should do. Now, actually, we are... oh, let's just dump all the stuff. Doesn't matter, even though we are going to use... now it's trying to fill me up with things that I don't want. Okay, now, bots. We need our bots, deconstruction planners. get the lot, why not? Now, let us start building. So, 256 of these. Oh, I've got them trashed. Excuse me. That's not the best way of going about this. Okay, what else did we need? We needed heaps of beacons. Heaps of speed modules. What does that go to? I'll just put in 500, say. We're running out of space fast. What's another big ticket item? Let's make sure we have 100 of these. So we have a couple more spots. Alright. Actually 50 of those, 50 of those, and 100 of those. That's not a bad starting pack. Where's the blue? We've got 50 there. Okay. We have a little bit more space than that. Alright. Hundred and 50. Let's go. Let's at least get some of this down. It's unlikely I'll be able to lay all of this stuff in this episode, but you know, there's still time. There's time for everything to happen. Ooh. Oh, yeah, this is a little annoying. We're obviously going to need to do a little bit of tree clearance. So I guess we have to do it the good old-fashioned nuclear way. Hope that I didn't destroy anything important while we did that. Well, that came close, but that was a good one. That was definitely a good one. I guess we can risk one out here as well. So, trees. I don't want trees. We probably want to get into an InfiniZoom level where we can see exactly how big this is going to be. Back a bit, don't want to be caught in the explosion, especially with all the stuff I have on board. This is the modern grenade, the way you grenade when you have a gigabase to clear trees. Grenading to clear trees. Alright, time for InfiniZoom. How does this guy look? Looks pretty awesome, really. Doesn't look like I can get them to overlap, but I can get that to go there. If I go up just a little bit further, so that I can potentially see the whole thing. think that's as good as it's going to get. It looks like I can't quite align it perfectly. Probably makes sense. Yeah. There we go. What did that do to UPS? Dropped it a lot for a little while. Now, you probably would benefit from those guys. So let's do that. Let's undo the InfiniZoom function. Right. Sorry about all of that going backwards and forwards. This is bound not to do the nicest things to our... So these station names, I think I said copy. So they'll obviously have to change them. But that's okay. We obviously need to give this lot a helping hand. Oh, we still have a bunch of labs. I probably should go up first rather than down, but I didn't think of that until after I'd already headed down. We're completely out of beacons, that makes sense. Let's drop that off because we're not going to need that on our second trip. They stack to 10s, okay. So I could probably swap out the lack of the labs for our second trip with a whole bunch of roboports, like 250 of them, and that will more or less get us to where we were in terms of a full load. And realistically, guys, I don't think we're going to be making it to SpaceX Science this episode, but obviously we're getting very, very close to that target. $512 highly sped up labs. Not the most labs I've ever deployed, but these are the most highly sped up labs I've ever employed. And I must admit, when I deployed more, I was using the chaining system, which results in a lack of efficiency for each individual lab. And so that's why I've kind of moved away from that for this playthrough. Kind of looks cool, but if a lab keeps having its contents swiped away to feed further labs down the chain, it can't then use the science until it's once again refreshed. So we still have 2 labs. We need one there. Where else? Actually, it looks... Oh yeah, because we need like the remaining 6 labs, whatever it is. Is it 6 labs? That doesn't even say. I think we actually need a few more labs because it was 256 and I asked for 250. So there's probably 1 or 2 little holes along the way here. We probably won't need 500 of those, because most of the labs now have their prod modules and everything else is using speed modules. We could probably make use of a bit of track though. Let's see if that works. We're probably getting quite close to time as well, so yeah, these don't perfectly align, but it didn't look like I could perfectly align them. Unfortunately, and I'm certainly not ripping up all of these so to satisfy some OCD amongst viewers. What's this? That doesn't work well. It should be back there. That seems to be overkill. Alright. I should have changed my legs back. In fact, we still can do that. That's a lot better. Now, feed me, guys. Feed me. I can't believe we're out of speed modules. I guess there's still a lot to deliver. In fact, this might be enough to trigger a delivery of speed modules to the main base. It's 5,000 there at the moment. Where is the... It's on its way to supply unload, but stuck in traffic somewhere. Where was it stuck? Oh, right, okay, so it is down here. Right there. Alright. Well, that means that we're not going to get the speed modules from it for a little while, but I did have some speed modules in there, and I threw some speed modules on here as well because I had some spares sitting at one of those stations, so we may as well use them here. It doesn't matter that we've probably over-ordered speed modules. We can make the most of the ones that we've got. And obviously we need to connect rails up the side here as well, but that'll be the last thing we do. I'll build out red and green science before that. And yeah, we only actually need 2 of these things running at the moment with our 30-second science to achieve the 6,000 a minute that we're able to produce. So, yeah, there is that. Oh, I need to swap these guys out again. I sometimes run completely separate armors and just swap the armors over. I might even do that. So how are we going over there? But it's pretty easy to set up, and the number of times I've died and therefore had to build new armors so that I could get back to mine in a reasonable period of time is obviously sufficient that there's some spare armors floating around. We're out of beacons. We are not out of roboports though, so... And we have a tiny bit of rail. Maybe if I give this a little bit of a nudge. I'll probably turn the roboports off now. We'll worry about what we need once we get to the end and see that there's, you know, not enough roboports or something. Something of that nature. Let's see, we still have some resources, so This is in fact the last row of robo ports here, so it was a good move to turn them off. We are deploying substations, or we are when we get some charge. Should speed that exercise up a little bit. Run back over here. Grab a few last things that needed some charge. And then swap back to the speedy legs. Okay, so if we're not getting robo ports, we could probably bump the beacons up a couple of hundred to 500. Be nice if we have had another delivery of speed modules, but it might not be the case, so we'll just see in a moment, and I'll probably wrap up the episode actually, because I think it's probably been going on long enough. And I'll probably finish building out, well, you know, letting the bots build out what we've laid down between times, and maybe next episode we can look at the red and green science expansion, tying it all together and seeing where we can go from there. We may even be in time to start it up. No, we still need tons of stuff. Looks like it's on its way though. Not with any speed modules. Alright. So, yeah, I guess it is going to take some time for the supply train to get through everything. So we'll wrap it up here. Thanks for joining me. I look forward to seeing you to the next. Bye bye for now.